What's up, everybody?
Hello, hello.
It's Wednesday night. Yes, of course, we got Carolyn with us tonight and my dog, of course, because the minute we go live and she hears the music, now she's part of the show. So everybody say hi to Rhea. So, guys, how is everybody doing on this Wednesday night? We have an amazing show tonight with Tony Gunn from OVW Wrestling. Very awesome for him to come by and spend a little bit of time with us tonight. And please make sure I did link his channel up above. So let's all go over there and show him some love. And I don't know, you have anything else you want to say?
Not at the moment. Let's bring him on.
All right. So we're going to bring Tony on. And feel free to ask questions. And we've got some questions. And we're just going to hang out and have a good time. And it's going to be awesome. Now, tomorrow night, OVW, be on YouTube. Tony's going to be fighting Enzo. So that's going to be a cool match, too. So that'll be cool to ask about. So let's go ahead and bring Tony on.
Come on.
All right.
What's going on?
How you doing there?
Doing great. How you guys doing?
Doing wonderful. So we want to introduce yourself, man. Let everybody know a little bit about you.
Sure. My name's Tony Gunn. My ring name is Shotgun Tony Gunn. So with the last name like Gunn, why change it? I'm born and raised out of the great state of Arkansas, and I've been here in Louisville, Kentucky since 2009. Came up here for OVW, and just kind of been here ever since. Just having fun and running the little system there at OVW.
All right. You actually have a job outside of OVW, also here in Louisville.
Yeah.
I understand you are a teacher.
I am a teacher. I always like to say I'm a teacher by day and a wrestler by night. So that's a pretty good tagline. I've been teaching for, I think 13, 14 years now. I'm a high school advanced phys ed / weightlifting teacher, which is really cool. First year that the school that I teach at, which is Central High School here for JCPS in Louisville, Kentucky. First time that they've ever had a weightlifting program for students to take in high school. So it's kind of neat to be the start of that.
So do you think that because you're a wrestler, it might intimidate some of the kids to be on better behavior than they might be otherwise?
I wouldn't say intimidate, because that's fun. I don't want to intimidate any kids. But I would say I'm a big person in practice what you preach. So whatever I have the kids do in PE class, whether it's game activity or if it's any physical activity like exercising and stuff like that, I wouldn't ask them to do anything that I wouldn't do myself. And they see me do it as well, too. So like I said, I'm a big believer in practice what you preach, because, I don't want to be that gym teacher, or that PE teacher, or that weightlifting coach that tells the students what to do, and I just sit back in a chair and do nothing. It's kind of hard to gain the respect from those students and expect them to do anything in the classroom environment.
Yeah, those are the teachers that I know when you leave school, you remember more, the ones that got in there and did with you and helped lift you up, versus just saying, hey, go do this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go do whatever else. So
yeah. I 100% agree. Now, Danny Shee, who was in the chat, he had a great question. Did you have a wrestling icon that you looked up to growing up?
Yeah, I did. So, to be honest with you, I didn't start watching I watched wrestling when I was a little kid, with my dad. When it was we'd watch Saturday morning Memphis wrestling, and Jerry Lawler, Dundee, Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Moondogs, all that. And then I kind of grew out of it, I guess you can say, like a lot of people do. And then I really didn't get back into wrestling until 97, 98, which is at that time was the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
And that's, even if you weren't a wrestling fan, everybody liked watching wrestling at that point in time, because, it was The Rock, Stone Cold, Triple H, and you had every character in the book at that. But I would say, as far as the biggest wrestlers that I looked up to, I'm just going to go with the wrestlers that got me into wrestling, that made me want to be a professional wrestler, is two people. And one is Kurt Angle, because I really enjoyed watching Kurt Angle in the ring from a physical standpoint, because he does have that, that amateur background. And then also as well, too, his entertainment value as far as being a good babyface, a good heel, and just the character that he presented on the camera I just fell in love with it. The second person that I looked up to in wrestling was Ken Shamrock. He was a big reason why I got into wrestling, because I kind of focused on like his mentality, where it's just like just screw everybody, I'm just going to go here and go crazy. So I kind of like identify with that in a sense, and I just enjoyed watching Shamrock as far as and I enjoyed watching him in the UFC as well, so that kind of carried over into when he came to WWF or WWE, whatever you want to call it. So those are the two big players that I really enjoyed watching growing up, and that got me into wanting to become a wrestler.
So being a wrestler as long as you have now and going the places that you've been, because you don't just wrestle here in Louisville. I know you wrestle a lot of other places. Have you had the opportunity to meet either one of them in person?
I've met both of them, actually. I've met Kurt Angle. Where was it at? It was in passing. It was at the Arnold Classic. I think he was doing some type of signing there or something. And then it was just in passing, just said hi, idolized you as a kid, yada, yada, yada. It was nice, brief conversation. And then I met Ken Shamrock a couple times actually, when he was at Impact Wrestling. So I was at that point in time, I was doing a few things with Impact Wrestling as well too, with the whole gut check and stuff like that. So it was kind of nice to meet him. We had a really good conversation, and it was just kind of nice to pick his brain a little bit.
I know when my kids were little, my kid Josh used to always win tickets to WWE, and always meet and greets. And Ken Shamrock was one of the guys we got to go backstage and meet one time. And he was just great with the kids, goofing off with them and treated them really well for, being back there kind of in the way, so to speak, while a wrestling show's going on. It's a cool time for a meet and greet for the fans, but I know it's not a cool time for a meet and greet for the wrestlers, because there's a lot going on.
Right. Exactly.
So,
yeah.
So everybody's commenting on how young you look and how can you be wrestling since 97, 98?
Yeah, that's when I started watching wrestling. I was still in high school in 97, 98, which probably a lot of people will be like, oh, you're old. Okay. So I get that a lot, actually, which is weird. I graduated high school in 2001, and shortly after graduating, I got into professional wrestling and trained down with Memphis Wrestling. But I don't know. I don't know what to say about how I look so young. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I guess I carry it well. Maybe the beard hides a lot of the ugliness. I don't know.
That's why I keep one on.
Well, I'm going to bring this up now because I have a feeling something is about ready to happen in your life that is going to make you age pretty quickly in the next few years. There's a reason Tony couldn't be here with us tonight, and that is because
you're talking about the baby Gunn on the way. Yeah. So 2 weeks, about 2 more wecome
Wow.
Baby Gunn is going to be brought into this world, or less, whenever she's ready to come out into this world. But yeah, it's 2 more weeks, and we'll have a little one, which is nice, and we're ramping up for and gearing up for, and my wife and I were both excited and nervous, and pretty much every emotion is checked right now as far as getting ready for this newborn.
Well, the fans at OVW were pretty excited too when you made the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of baby Gunn chants there in the arena.
Yeah, I did not expect that at all. The baby Gunn chants was like just icing on the cake, and with my wife sitting out there, and she got kind of a little emotional about it as well too. because she didn't know I was going to do that. I didn't ask permission. It's better to ask forgiveness than permission. So thankfully she liked it and everything went well. So yeah, it was really nice. It was a really cool experience to be able to share that with the OVW family
and the entire world, because a lot of people were watching that night online.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was funny, and they used it for heat after that.
Oh yeah, which made it really stupid when Enzo was kind of cutting on you, talking about shooting blanks. I'm like, wait a minute,
come on, man,
because there's a baby on the way.
So whatever, say what you want, but yeah, that was a funny little comment. He made that comment. I was like, oh, okay, all right, whatever.
So I've got to ask the default question, because regardless of me doing a wrestling show or whatever, I am a collectibles and Funko channel. So I have to ask for everybody, do you know what a Funko Pop is?
Yeah, actually, I do know what a Funko Pop is. And I used to collect a few of them back in the day, but it was very, very short lived, because I figured out in the beginning that this is going to turn into an expensive habit.
Yes, it definitely does.
So I quickly X that out.
Yeah. ZDP sort of knew. I had to actually show him one.
Oh, really?
And then Zach was, he went up to the studio, and he was a little bit overwhelmed by the thousands of them that surround you.
Floor to ceiling, every wall covered, big, little. Yeah, it's crazy at this house.
Well, there's some really cool ones. I'm a really big Ninja Turtle fan.
Oh yeah,
and I love the Ninja Turtle collection that they had. It was pretty awesome.
The Ninja Turtle ones are pretty cool. I collect a lot of the wrestling ones.
Oh yeah,
and well, I just about, and my dog, she's like, you have some furry dog ones. That's part of this live. I told Zach last week. Bless you. He brought his daughter, and then his friend. It was a madhouse over here.
Oh my gosh!
I told him, I said, the dog, what is your issue tonight?
I think she has a question.
Yeah, she wants attention. She always likes to have attention. Once a month, we do a bark box opening, and so she's always there. So I always keep these little bags of treats here, because that usually keeps her quiet for a while.
Gotcha. We got 2 fur babies of our own. So
what kind of dogs do you have?
So one his name is Sport. He's a border collie lab mix. And then the other one, he's like a beagle mix. I'm not sure what he's mixed with. As we adopted him, but his name is Jake the Snake.
Awesome.
Yeah.
One of the things I want to ask you about, can we talk a little bit about the OVW Wrestling School?
Sure.
How involved with the school are you?
So I'm pretty involved. I've been a trainer with OVW for, I think 3 years now. There's 3 different levels of classes: beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I teach the intermediate portion of class. So once they make it out of the beginners, they come to me for a few months, and then if they graduate, they move on to Doug Basham's class, which he teaches the advanced class.
So from a wrestling standpoint, as a wrestler, can you, when you're in a match with somebody you've just met for the first time, are you able to tell by the way they move whether they've been to a school or whether they're just some guy who learned in somebody's ring in somebody's backyard?
Well, I can usually tell by just talking to them backstage before we even get in the ring. Just the way they present themselves and the way they conduct themselves in putting together a match or just talking over things. So I can pretty much gauge, what type of training they had just by talking to somebody. But yeah, it's a pretty telltale once you get in the ring, just to see their footwork and their timing and how they move and all that as well too. So it's a lot of things that I look for before I even step into the ring. because the number one thing, especially when because here at OVW, like we pretty much all train under the same umbrella.
Right.
So you kind of know what each other is about and all that, especially since we see each other every week. But when you go out into the indies and do other shows outside of OVW or whatever you're used to, I particularly look for that. So that way I kind of know what I'm dealing with as far as what I can and cannot do with this person. And also too, just to keep myself safe as well too.
Right. Because I mean, there are some naysayers out there who, you know, talk about the sport, but it can be a very dangerous sport if you don't know what you're doing or you're not taking care of the person who's in the ring with you. I mean,
it's dangerous. It's dangerous if you know what you're doing and you're highly athletic and skilled. It's still, the dangers are always there. It just increases the dangers when you don't have that skill set or those undeveloped skills, and then you try to hide around not having those skills, you know, and that could really lead to some serious injuries.
Now, that led to Mr. Crisper's asking, has there ever been a match you've declined due to risk?
There's one that happened recently a few months ago, but I did not decline it. But I'm not going to say who because I'm not here to call out names.
No. We're not asking you to do that.
Right. But an instance did happen where at another company, someone was under the influence, you know, pretty heavily, and I took it upon myself to shorten the match and do the least amount risk as possible to still put over the business and make sure both parties come out unharmed. Okay. So, I mean, as far as like not doing a match or anything like that, I've never done that. But as far as proceeding on the side of caution and knowing what the other person, if they are under the influence or anything like that, then yeah, I do take extra precautions and try to figure out the best scenario to A, still get the business done, and B, to come out unharmed in that situation. So
it's a good way to handle it.
Yeah. And I'm not the person. I'm not like, I've been wrestling for 20 years, and like a lot of people, I would say before me, you know, has been wrestling before me or whatnot, have the mentality of taking liberties to somebody in the ring if they're like that or anything like that. I'm not that type of person to take liberties on somebody, whether they mess up or if, you know, or if they're under the influence or anything like that. I'm just here to do the business and get out safely, and that's it.
No, and guys, you're not going to donate it to Suplex Me. They keep bothering everybody. The thing, okay, so like a while back, not that long ago, but we did a video at the OVW Davis Arena. Me and my wife did a funny video, right? So we got to do it in the ring and everything. Well, AJ and them told us, they said, you can be in the ring and you can dress up like whatever, but you cannot do anything that looks like wrestling because, you know, you'll get in trouble for that. You can't bounce off the ropes. You can't jump off anything. You can't do anything that could be perceived as a wrestling move and put it on YouTube. That was the rule.
Because they don't have the wrestling license.
So this started with everybody in the chat being upset that we did a video and my wife didn't body slam me in the ring. So now they want to donate for me to go to the wrestling school so then they can see me get body slammed.
Hey, I'm game for that. Let's do it.
I know, man. This old man ain't doing that, dude. I'll come and I'll hang out and I'll be like, I'll play the character of dressing up as a Macho Man if he was still alive and he dressed like he used to with the Slim Jim commercials. I could play that part. Now I do have a few. We went all around, right? But I had these questions here.
All right, go ahead.
Because I just, you know, like we talked about him coming to Louisville, right? And we talked about him, what influenced him to become a wrestler. but not where you went to wrestling school.
Mm-hmm.
And I was interested in that. I have a multi-part, and we'll get to the parts of it.
Sure. That's actually a funny. It's a funny story now, but it wasn't a funny story at the time. So I remember my senior year in high school, and this is what really solidified me wanting to become a wrestler. Is back before OVW was developmental for WWF, they were developmental in Memphis with MCW, Memphis Championship Wrestling. And Jonesboro, Arkansas is like an hour and a half from Memphis, which is where I basically lived. And my senior year in high school, my girlfriend at the time got us tickets to go see. They were putting on a big show. Memphis Championship Wrestling was, and the main event was Kurt Angle and Triple H. I believe Kurt Angle at the time was the WWF Heavyweight Champion. So they brought them in and some other names for this big super show with Memphis Developmental Wrestling. And I remember I was sitting third or fourth row, and I was just watching the show. And towards the end of it, like I remember watching the Triple H and Kurt Angle match and just the things that they were doing. And I wasn't so focused on the match, but I was watching the crowd around. There was like 5,000, 6,000 people there. And I was just watching the crowd, just how they had them in the palm of their hands and the way they were reacting, booing, cheering, just like on the edge of their seat. And I just remember sitting there like, man, I was like, this is intense. Like I've never been to a show or anything like that before. And I was like, I want to be the reason why these people are reacting like this or showing these emotions. I want to be the person that does that. And that show after that, like I remember on the way back home, I was like, I want to be a wrestler. I'm going to be a professional wrestler. So that solidified it for me. And then after I graduated high school, I was searching for wrestling schools and all that. And since I went to the MCW show, I just looked up MCW and contacted them about coming in, doing the beginner's class and all that jazz. And I saved up my money because I was working at a furniture store at the time. And I think at the time, the beginner's class was like $1,200 or something, you know, for 6 months of training or whatever it is. I forgot what it was. That's irrelevant. But I remember I was like, I'm going to show them that I'm serious. I'm going to pay all my money up front. Boom, just to show that I'm serious and I want to do this. So I pay everything up front. And a week later, before the school starts, WWF pulled out of MCW and sent everybody to OVW. That's when OVW started their developmental. And then MCW shut their doors.
Oh no.
So I paid this money and 0 days of training, and I'm just like up a creek without a paddle, you know, and I'm like, well, I guess this is welcome to wrestling, Tony Gunn. So, and I didn't get refunded my money or anything like that because I couldn't get in contact with anybody. So at that point in time, another wrestler that was in the area, he actually did some stuff with OVW, I think before they were developmental, while they were still developmental. His name's Derek King. I don't know if you guys know that name or not, but he used to be in OVW. It was like him and Jason Lee, and they were like tagging with, I think Rip Rogers was like their manager. They were like the Suicide Blondes or something. But anyways, so Derek kind of took me under his wing and like took me on indie shows and kind of trained me, you know, to show me the ropes and all that. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go to OVW until I graduate college because I promised my mom that I was going to graduate, you know, college. And then as soon as I graduated college, I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, you know, talked to Rip Rogers because he was like the head trainer at the time. And I sell everything. I sell my motorcycle. I sell everything I have to move to Louisville, Kentucky. And then I got to save money again. But I learned my lesson the first time. It's like, I'm not going to pay everything up front. But I had all my money saved. And like I think it's a few weeks before I go to pay or whatever. I crap you not, but WWF pulled out of OVW and sent everybody to Florida Championship Wrestling. And I'm like, well, I've seen this already. OVW, MCW shut their door, so OVW is probably going to shut their door, so I'm not going to pay to train. So I quit wrestling for like 2 or 3 years because I was just frustrated with everything. And then finally, I think I was just miserable and just like down on my luck, so to speak. And I reached out to Danny Davis because OVW was still a thing. And I think this was 2011. And he invited me in for a dark match and came in and blew myself up in the first 2 minutes, suck and win. And I got backstage and Danny was like, we'll see you next week. Come on back. And I've kind of been there ever since. That's how I got my start into wrestling.
Heck yeah. Now I have to go through him because he did a multi-parter without me asking. So that was awesome.
Yes, I did. That I answered. Was that a double whammy?
You anticipated the question.
You anticipated the question that I had prepared. Well, no, we went over that. What are your hobbies?
I mean, my hobbies and my passion is wrestling.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to be that because.
Well, do you have any other than wrestling? I think that was phrased.
Yeah, but I mean, the other is obviously I love being in the gym. I'm in the gym 5-6 days a week, and I don't do it just for wrestling. I do it because I preach fitness. I love fitness. You
do the meal prep and all that too, don't you?
I do the meal prep and all that. But yeah, I'm just real big into being active. I love doing anything active. And I mean, just hanging out with my friends and just socializing. Like I'm pretty laid back, easygoing person, But as far as any collectible hobbies or anything like that, I don't have anything like that. Just wrestling, working out, and I would say I do video games every now and then, but not too much.
Yeah, let's see what they were asking. A few things there.
Sure.
Mr. Crisper said, "What's the evolution of Tony Gunn? Has there been more than one persona?"
There's been many, because it's like in wrestling, you kind of gotta find yourself, so to speak, and then once you find who you are, you take that and you just turn it up to like level 12 or level 15. And it took me a while to find that. It takes a few years to develop yourself. But since I love Kurt Angle and Ken Shamrock, started out in wrestling, I wanted to do submission. So like my very first finishing move was the Texas Cloverleaf. And I just went by the natural, Tony Gunn. And my finish move was called the YTO, which means you'll tap out. Then shortly, that was on the indie scene before I came to OVW. When I came to OVW, I needed to kind of redevelop myself and have more of a character because, Al at the time was there doing TV and he's really big on characters. So my very first program with OVW was with Johnny Spade and Shiloh Jones. And they were kind of like doing this Night at the Roxbury, like tag team gimmick at the time. And I was doing the thing where like I was trying to befriend Johnny Spade, but I was kind of like creepy about it, where I would give him like a box of chocolates or like a mixed like cassette tape, but like in 2011 nobody had cassette tapes, and I gave him like a stuffed bear because I accidentally had him lose a match or something and he ripped the head off of it, which made me lose my crap. And that's when I attacked him and put duct tape around the bear and called it Ralphie. And I talked to the kind of like Al Snow's head in a sense, so it was a crazy gimmick and it worked. And the people, hated it at first, obviously as me as a heel, but they grew to love it and actually turned into a babyface because they loved seeing Ralphie the bear and me come out and talk to this bear and have this character and conversation with the bear. But with characters like that, you can only go so far, right? So I came to a realization like, okay, I'm here. I'm not going to go any further with this character. It's time to kind of reinvent myself. Well, I think at that time I had my shoulder surgery and I was out for like 8 or 10 months. And that was the time for me to come back as a new person. And that's where I kind of created the whole shotgun Tony Gunn thing, where I was like, I'm from Arkansas. I have this Southern twang with my voice. It's really hard to hide this. I have this look about me, you know. So I was like, maybe I'll just lean into this, you know. So, and that's what I did. I just, you know, I was like Shotgun Tony Gunn because it kind of flows pretty well. And I was like, I'm from Arkansas, so there's rednecks in Arkansas, but I don't want to be a redneck. What about a roughneck? So Arkansas roughneck, Shotgun Tony Gunn. And I just started plugging pieces together and trying to make it fit. And throughout the journey of, I say, the past 6 or 7 years, I've kind of redeveloped myself as Shotgun Tony Gunn over and over. I used to wear a cowboy hat and the vest, and I don't do that anymore. I used to do the dip. I don't do that. Like now it's the whiskey flask and, you know, and all that. So you're constantly like seeing what works, what doesn't work, plugging this piece in. And then once it starts clicking, then you can just kind of take it and just put it all together and mold it how, you know, mold it.
So, well, you've got a really awesome theme song right now, performed by a friend of mine, Brian Fox.
Brian Fox, very talented artist.
How did y'all end up together?
So what's funny is that you know, I'm a school teacher, so I actually taught his 2 daughters in middle school. So I don't know, somehow we bumped into each other. I think it was like a parent-teacher conference or something. Like he was in this building and we talked. And he started talking about his, you know, he does music and stuff. And he knew I was a wrestler because we did fundraisers there and his kids loved watching me wrestle and all that. So we just kind of built a relationship through that. And then shortly after, I was like, you know what? When I was doing the Shotgun Tony Gunn, I was like, I need some actually good music that fits my character. And I was like, you know what? I was like, the worst he can say is no. I was like, I'm just going to reach out to Brian and see if he wants to do anything. And we collaborated and, you know, and kind of fine tune a song and like all the lyrics and the rhythm and the beat. He did everything you hear in that song. He did by himself. Nobody else played any other instrument, did anything else. He did everything himself. And that's just a testament to what type of person Brian Fox is. Like he did awesome. He knocked it out of the park.
Oh yeah, he's really, really talented, very talented. In fact, his band was on the Chris Jericho cruise this year.
Yeah, I heard about that. That's awesome.
So.
I saw some videos from it. Just looks like a train wreck.
Huh?
It just looked like a train wreck.
What, the cruise?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wrestling, booze on a cruise ship. I mean, what do you expect?
Well, and like 90% men, 10% women. Yeah. Everybody's drunk.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that would be bad. And then you got let's see I know but would ask you about if any of your students ever come see you wrestle. Do they know you wrestle?
Yeah, actually quite a few have come to the arena to see me wrestle, watch the show. A lot of my coworkers, they go as well too. Actually, I think there's a few coming to Tough Love this Saturday. But just a little cheap plug there for OVW. But yeah, they enjoy it. And sometimes it's funny because sometimes I'll show up, you know, to school the next day after TV, and they'll be like, "Oh, Mr. Gunn, you gave this person the business, you know, you said this and da 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 da." I was like, "Yeah," I was like, "That's just." You know, that's my character.
Right.
Yeah.
Have any of the students come to you and ask, you know, maybe about following in your footsteps and how they would do that?
There's been a couple that have asked, how do you get into wrestling and all that? And I always obviously pitch the school of OVW and all that, and just, you know, go online to OVW Academy and, you know, fill out an application and just, you know, take it from there. So, but yeah, I've had a couple, especially in high school and elementary, not so much, you know, because they're still whatever, figuring things out. I mean, hell, you are in high school too, but I've had these past couple of years, I've had a couple students, you know, inquire about that. So it'd be kind of cool to see them, you know, come through there.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you prefer, I know you've been both, but do you prefer being a heel or a babyface?
I'll tell you, I can lean into being a heel a lot more. I don't know if that's just because it comes more natural. I mean, I'm not really, I'm not, can I cuss on here? Is that okay?
Yeah, you're
I
fine.
mean, I'm not really an asshole, but I can be if you push the right buttons. But I feel like a lot of the really, really nice guys out there are really good heels. And I have a lot more fun being a heel. Not saying being a Babyface isn't fun, but you can just show a lot more personality being that character and being that and just being that heel. But I'm really enjoying what I'm doing right now with the work that I'm doing with Jack Bond.
Oh, dude, you're killing. Dude,
Jack Bond cracks
you
me
guys,
up.
dude, that stuff that you've been doing with the back and forth, and I mean that stuff's been great. And then the Enzo interference into it. I mean that's really great. That's some of the best, though. I think.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
We got somebody here asking, all these years later, do you still have the teddy bear? And any thoughts of randomly bringing that idea back?
Well, the teddy bear is actually in my closet, sitting on the top shelf. So every time I walk into my closet, he's always staring down at me. So yes, I still have Ralphie the teddy bear. He's always there as a reminder of it's okay to do silly things and go outside your comfort zone, because that's when you can truly grow, is stepping outside your comfort zone and doing something totally out of your element. As far as Ralphie coming back, I don't know if that gimmick will ever come back, but it is the wrestling business, so never say never.
That's true.
Yeah, I know.
Never say never.
Some of those, like, you could like lightning only strikes in the same place once, right? It's one of those deals, right? Like I don't think you can relive the magic of that again.
That's true.
Yeah.
It can always be something like that. Yeah, and then so how's it been? Like, my questions were, and I know, like, you can answer in any way you want to any of the questions, because I don't want you to say stuff you're not supposed to say or anything like that, right?
Sure.
But just, like, we knew Al Snow in a different light than OVW, right? So I already know how cool of a dude he is and how nice of a dude, because I know him because he does all those movies with John Wells.
Mm-hmm.
And John Wells is my friend from high school.
Oh, okay.
So I know that whole circle from there, right? So I know how great of a person Al Snow is, right? And how great it's to have him here to teach you guys and learn the business, right? But, like, how good is it having, I know Enzo's been there and he's been helping out some of the guys and things like that.
Yeah.
Is he pretty helpful and good guy?
He's relatively new coming into OVW. He's been there for 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. But he's not coming in with my ego or anything like that. He's pretty much to himself, but he is there. If you have questions, you can ask, and he does give little points of advice here and there. But no, he's from the relationship that we have, he's an all right dude. But we'll, as you can see, we kind of butt heads. So Yeah.
Well, yeah. No, yeah. I know. Yeah, and I always had a soft spot for him.
Yeah.
Because of, he got a bunch of shit that wasn't true and destroyed everything he had.
Right.
By somebody lying about it. Right.
Right.
So it always kind of made me mad because, he got a bad end of a deal.
Yeah. And
he had to rebuild a career.
Yeah. And I don't get like all like that on here about it, but it's the guilty before proven innocent kind of deal that goes on way too much. So I was happy to see him.
Yeah, and that sucks. That sucks, like, being in the entertainment business, and that happens because it's like it is, and especially if you're a man, you're 99% of the time you're guilty until proven innocent, and then the damage has already been done, because in the entertainment world you're gone and someone's plugged into your spot. you know, and then who knows if you ever get back in rotation again, you know, so that sucks. That sucks.
But that doesn't mean I still don't want you to beat his ass for what he did next week, tomorrow night. No,
Oh, yeah.
don't think that for a second.
It's going down. There's a lot of realism in what I do out there for a reason. So, you know, don't come in here thinking you're going to try to own my house, so to speak, you know. So.
No, he won't. He's not going to do that.
So we've also had Mick Foley in for several
Yeah.
weeks now. Do you think that Superior Tony Evans is ever going to get an A?
He'll probably get an A from Mick, but it'll probably be with a few letters after that as well too. I can see that. Tony Evans, you get an A for being an asshole.
Had you met Mick Foley before?
Several times.
Yeah.
I've met him several times. He's been in and out of OVW, you know, throughout the years. And then back when I was doing the indie scene before OVW in like Arkansas, Tennessee, Missouri area, he came in to do some indie show, and we had a very good conversation. I think we talked for like an hour or whatever, but just had a good down to earth conversation. That's when he was hired with WWF at the time. But very, very down to earth guy, and he's the type of person. He seems like he'll give you the shirt off his back. You know,
Yeah,
he's
we
a very good man.
met him at a comedy show. We went to one of his comedy shows here in town, and he didn't have a whole lot of time to talk to each person, but he made sure that each person that was in the room with him at that moment, you know, had his full attention.
Right? Yeah. He's that kind of person, so he gives you that attention, which is very cool because you know he can totally be a totally different person if you wanted to be, but you know he didn't let the stardom go to his head. He's still who he is, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
He's a good guy. He's always been nice to me all the different times that I've met him or talked to him.
And he's a good asset to have at OVW too. You know, it's great having him backstage because he does get a lot of insight and he does give his opinion to a lot of the boys in the back as far as that was good, but this could have been done a little bit better, you know. So things of that nature, and just given his experience and his expertise on things is really kind of like opening the boys' eyes, so to speak, as far as growing as a person, which is nice.
You need to tell. You see, what you need to do is go back and just tell Aaron Stevens to go home. Just tell him to go back to Nashville and quit doing that. Mick Foley's there doing that right now. Tell him to go backstage or hide by the snack bar like he was before he started coming out.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who he's who's he texting and who's
We're all trying to figure out what I mean. He just comes out and I mean with the Michael Jackson thing going, one glove and
well, that's what he does in NWA. And then he's not down there because he did that Thanksgiving match with that one. I forget her name, right? He wrestled that female wrestler in NWA for that Thanksgiving pay-per-view. And he had to dress up as a turkey in the middle of the ring. He's like, gobble, gobble.
Oh, my God. They're still doing the turkey thing?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, I gave him some garbage about that. Yeah, he bothers me. He bothers me. I saw that once. I'm like, oh, it's Davian.
One of the questions I wanted to ask.
Sure.
A while back, I had looking around online, and one of the other companies in the area had made a comment that OVW won't let its stars wrestle at any other promotion, which for one, I know to be untrue because I came to Chicago to watch you wrestle Big Time Wrestling. Mm-hmm. How does OVW handle that though when you all do have opportunities at other places?
They don't want you wrestling for companies in our own backyard. You know, that doesn't make sense, you know, because which I kind of believe Al in this aspect, if he's putting you on his TV, OVW, and putting you in this light to build you for people to spend money for a ticket to come sit and watch the show and watch this talent, like if they can pay this ticket here, but they can see you anywhere else close to OVW, then why are they going to come see you here, right? I get that, I understand that. But things larger than that, like going to do, like you said, the prime time or Impact or AEW, obviously WWE, of course, they fully understand that. They fully understand that. They're not going to. They don't keep you from that. I know that's a big rumor or thing that's going around wrestling. Oh, if you're with OVW, you're strictly with OVW. No, we don't. There's no contracts. There's nothing that's really keeping you there in that aspect. You are truly an independent wrestler. You can come and go as you please, which is nice. But the only thing is, if Al is doing business around you, then you need to be there for the shows that he needs you for. So, for example, if he's doing a program with you and he needs you every Thursday, and then he needs you for the pay-per-views, you can't be like, well, I'm not going to be here this week. And that
you
pay-per-view.
can't be going out to California to do Women of Wrestling.
Right.
We all saw that on the documentary. We realized that costs a little friction.
Yeah, I mean, that's something, which I get. I get both sides of that coin there, going out to do what to do well, but also too when you're being pushed as the main talent and you're part of something that's pretty big, it's not good to leave and do that. Kind of leaves a sour taste in
Right.
Al's mouth. So
it all worked out in the end, but yeah, there's a lot of OVW wrestlers that have belts in other areas. I know Orion, he's still always going to be Blanco Loco to me, but I know he has several from different wrestling promotions. And Tiffany Nieves, I know she holds belts at Mission Pro, and she just got signed with NWA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's obvious that they don't tie your hands behind your back. They allow you to grow as you need to grow.
Yeah, and that's all part of it as being a independent worker or talent. You truly are independent, that you're not locked down anything. And Al understands that. He wants you to spread your wings and fly, so to speak,
Well, that's kind of, I figured, if the company was direct competition for OVW, then it would probably be frowned upon to go to that company to do a show, whether you're independent or not. But then at the same time, you have like EC3, who has like 47 titles from all these different independents. Are none of those considered direct competitors of OVW? Is that why they don't? And then that one title that he doesn't like, that he kept
the one he kept kicking around that one night. I don't even know what title that was.
Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Blue one.
There was a blue one, and he like threw it down. He would push it with his foot. We were like, oh my gosh, as people who don't wrestle, it's like, oh, why are you doing that to this precious thing?
I don't get it. Maybe that's the story with that company. I don't know.
Oh, that's true. Didn't think about that.
Figure that out, because I'm sure it's on YouTube, because it's all on YouTube.
Yeah, everything's on YouTube. But yeah, that's not frowned upon. As long as you're there to do the business what Al needs, that you can make the shows, that's fine, and don't take other bookings that are on the same night as OVW. That's highly frowned upon. Obviously, if it's a bigger company, then yeah, but don't go do some podunk indie show on a pay-per-view night that we need you for.
Right.
Yeah. That just, you should have enough common sense anyways to not do that.
Yeah, that's not fair, especially if you have a prominent spot,
right,
storyline, and then you're not there. Yeah.
But then again, you're free to go do that, but the aftermath.
You're free to face punishment too.
By all means.
So what is if you had a dream match, what would your dream match be? Who would you be wrestling against? Or have you already had that match?
No, I haven't had that dream match. I would say I would love, probably won't happen. I would love for it to, but I would always love to step in the ring with Kurt Angle, because that's one of the guys that I idolize, But Angle or Shamrock would be like a dream. Just to be able to share the ring with them in some aspect would totally be a dream come true, because those are the two guys that got me into this crazy world of professional wrestling. So a match, a promo segment, whatever, it would be awesome just to share the ring with them. But no, as far as now, I really enjoy what I'm doing now. I've been wrestling 20 years, and there's not a lot that I really get excited for. But when I do, it's game on. I'm ready to have some fun, and I'm gonna say Jack Vaughn's name one more time. But even though he has my title that he did not rightfully win, so to speak, but he's somebody that I get excited for to wrestle against, and that hasn't happened in a long time. And that's just our chemistry in the ring, being able to feed off each other and just we almost kind of know what each other are thinking because we have a lot of the same psychology in the ring, which makes it pretty interesting. And it's just that competitive nature that I like, and we're kind of like the same person in that aspect. We want to try to outdo each other, and I think that's a reason why, we had that last match that the crowd went crazy for, and there's been a lot of positivity online about it as far as what type of match that really was. Even our ladder match that we had and the match before that, like each match just keeps getting better and better. And it's just the progression of everything and putting more trust in each other and just wanting to drive that competitiveness. So that's one thing that I'm really excited for right now, is being able to do a program with Jack Vaughn. And I think he's kind of thinks the same way as well too.
Yeah, this is some good stuff. I mean, it pissed me off because it was like such a good match, and whenever it doesn't end clean, it's like watching Cody and Roman at WrestleMania. It's like such a great match, and then it just ends because they cheated, or somebody interfered, and I was like, it didn't take anything away from how great the match was.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just want the match to be
that 100% fair, like when it's
yeah.
that good of a wrestling match,
you
want it to end in like a submission or a 1-2-3.
Yeah, you kind of almost, I won't say cheat the fans, but you kind of take something away from them that's unfinished. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It's unfinished.
Right, and that's what it leaves you with. I'm even more pissed off now when you go against him. So it definitely works.
Yeah.
But at that, I think we should ask Tony if he has anything he'd like to say about anything you have coming up or anything. Or
I mean, just trying to think. No, I mean, the only thing really is I'm gearing up for the kid to get here, and excited and ecstatic about that. And I'm sure once that happens, we'll share the news when we're ready to share that news, and to welcome baby Gunn into this world. And other than that, just make sure you tune in to OVW Wrestling. You can always find me there. And I actually think I'm coming up to the show up at Square Circle Expo up in Indianapolis. I think it's actually going to be me and Jack Vaughn. So I don't know.
Oh, that should be good. Yeah.
I don't know if that's set in stone yet or not, but that's the talk going around. It's going to be me and Jack Vaughn at Square Circle Expo in Indy.
That'll be awesome. We'll definitely be seeing you there.
Yeah.
And no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
so what happens though tomorrow night if you're wrestling and it's that time? I mean, obviously you got to finish the match. Do y'all have some contingency plan?
I don't know. I haven't really. I mean, I guess it'd be like, I don't know, just wrestle, do my thing, and be like, all right, I got to head to the hospital.
Yeah,
my wrestling gear,
That would probably be more likely on Saturday than it would on.
During the big pay-per-view.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. Yeah, why not? Let's make this memorable.
Now, guys, remember on YouTube, OVW Wrestling. You can catch that. They go live at like 6:30, and they show you stuff that you don't get to see on the regular Fight TV app.
To answer that better, he just wouldn't be at the meet and greet after OVW. Something like that.
My wife with her 2 cents that said
he just wouldn't be there to
if he's not at the meet and greet to shake your hand, you'll know where he is.
Yeah.
Because that is one thing. If you've not been to OVW, a lot of these people, Tony's one of the main ones, Cash Flow, every night after wrestling, they're out there to shake your hand and talk to you and
don't be afraid to come up and ask us questions and talk to us, or just say hello. Like
take a picture.
Buy
a shirt. Buy lots of shirts because he's got lots of diapers to buy.
Yeah, gonna find that out, man.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Hey, I like that WrestleMania shirt, by the way.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I thought it was gaudy to wear your shirt. I wore your shirt on my last video, the bright orange one, the one that I wear so I don't get shot in the woods.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, the hunter orange.
I wore that one so I could mention the fact that I was doing that you were going to be on the show. I wore the shirt because I wear a lot of the shirts, but that shirt is funny.
Yeah,
I got to buy one that's not
both have a lot of wrestling shirts. So
love it. You can never have enough wrestling shirts.
Oh God, no.
Matter of fact, that's pretty much all I have in my closet besides my work shirts.
That's about me too. Well, man, we really appreciate you coming on, spending a little time with us tonight. It was awesome, dude. We really appreciate it. Make sure to check out OVW every Thursday on YouTube or Fight TV. Saturday, there's a pay-per-view that you can get through their website at ovw.com. Tough Love. There's some killer matches. Go check that out. It's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll be there.
And we'll be back on March 6th.
Right.
We have somebody who actually does know Tony. He said he might remember me, but there's a gentleman named Christopher Flynn. He's actually Chris Flynn. He worked for WWE and stuff, but mainly he's a wrestler in the independents. Okay. Right now he's the AIWF Wrestling World Champion.
What is that his wrestling name, Chris Flynn?
Yeah, he goes by Chris Flynn. He knows my friend Terry that I know knows him. He's from Ohio.
Gotcha.
He used to do stuff with Kurt Angle and a bunch. He got pictures with those guys and stuff. And he said that there was a couple events in the past. He's like, you probably won't remember me. But,
well, it's like the name sounds familiar, but if I see the face, I'll probably know. But like I said, I've been wrestling 20 years and I've seen a lot of people.
A lot of faces.
It's like
well, he pretty much looks like me if I had a little bit of hair. But, regardless. But dude, thank you so much for coming on. We super appreciate it.
It's been awesome. Anytime you want to have me and just talk, I'm game with it. Just let me know.
Hell yeah, man. And thank you for the entertainment.
Yeah.
We appreciate it,
man.
Anytime. See you guys.
Peace out. All right, guys. I hope you had a good night. Me and Carolyn are out. As I said, we'll be back. I believe it's March 6th. With Christopher Flynn.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the 666.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. So, guys, thank you. I had a lot of fun, as always. But for now, peace out.